Next thing you can do in the monitoring center is work with the profile. So profile is subset of flow data which are defined by a filter. The purpose of profile is really to visualize the data. So generally what you want to do is to have some sort of mix of profiles which are applied on this incoming data, which will visualize the traffic for you in order to see what is happening. As I mentioned in the sources details, it's generally not a good idea to have too many sources profiled, as they are already profiled within the live source or all sources, but definitely it's a good idea to visualize the data which you are interested in. So when you are using some Office 365, for example, you can create a shadow profile, so you will see how much is being used. Each profile is then available in analysis and reporting, so it will help you with pre-filtering the data which you want to get some details. So for instance, if we have a look on that Office 365 profile, as you can see, it will have some name, you can give it description. The important part is the parent profile, where you select which profile is actually having to or being on top in order to provide you data. So you can pre-filter the data in the profile, so you can create some sort of structure in the data. Also, you can assign them to the group, so that will allow you to group them together for something which makes sense. Then start date, if you have, or once you have in the profile data from the past, you can set up the start date from the past, or you can say a current time, so it will start right away. And each profile might be continuous, so it will continue from that time on, or it will be historic if you say, okay, it's finished and it's not going to collect data anymore after this time. Then if we will have a real profile, so this one, we might set up size. Unfortunately, it won't be possible for this one because it's already configured, but when we have a real profile, it will actually separate the data which we want to filter only for this profile into special files on the disk. So that will obviously speed up the processing of the data when you are doing some queries, but of course it will consume additional space on the storage. So here you need to make sure that it has assigned some meaningful data, so it's not being rewritten all the time, and at the same time that you don't run out of your storage just because you have too many real profiles. You can set up expiration in case you need to make sure, I don't know, that the data will remain in the profile only for a week or something, that it will be deleted automatically. You can set it up here, and the granularity is how often the chart is being graphed for you. So the default is 5 minutes, but you can go to 1 or 30 seconds. And then you have the channel. So each channel is pretty much one filter which will show you something. So you can see in this case for Microsoft 365, sorry, we have it looking for host names. So that will be taken from HTTP or for SNI from HTTPS if it's available. So you can look for host name, or at the same time we have here a filter for the IP addresses which are known to be used by this service. So this is something you can use in combination, and the filter can really be anything. So it could be VLANs, protocols, autonomous system numbers, whatever it makes sense. Then the important thing is to select the channels of the parent profile you want to use. And then if you want to save some of space or a little bit, you can say that NPM charts are not being generated unless you want them, and whether the traffic chart should be generated. So you can choose which one of the charts is required. But unless you have too many profiles, generally this isn't something you need to consider that much. Actually, we added this option in the past because of our DDoS offering, and it's likely that this will disappear in a future version. And then, like, you have here the overview of the profiles, so you can see all of that here. What we can see when we go back to the analysis is that, or actually you can go into the profiles by one more mean, and that's when you're selecting the profile, you will see it here as well. So you can see on the top like a day, then there is a month, or actually a fortnight, month, and a year view for the same data. So you can see how much data are there all the time. You can see all the channels which you select, so you can choose which one you are interested in. You can say, and it will change everything. And again, you have your traffic and flows. You can change axes or edit it right from here. But then there is another option, which is this historical trends, which will show you how it's changing in comparison with previous intervals. So you can say set the intervals and see how much it has changed with, and in comparison how much the traffic has increased, decreased, and things like that, as well as you can switch to the statistics here. Then in analysis, what you have seen probably before, when I switch to last 3 months, you can actually see how long the data are being stored for the profile, because what we have here, oh sorry, let's go back, last 3 months, is that whenever the gray area or the background is gray, it means we don't have the data for the profile anymore. Wherever it's white, then we can query the data. So over here we still see the chart, so we can see this kind of statistics. But if I try to do some first 20 flows in those data, I won't get any results because the data are not present in the system anymore. If I do it the same here, I will get results because the data are still on the system, so I can get the results right away. So that's how you can recognize easily visually how long retention of the data you have. And then the last portion for this configuration, when you want to have some overview of assigned quota for the profiles, you can go to the resource manager and modify the quotas for the profile right here. So you can see we have 5 gig to all sources, and then we have 2 profiles. One is user profile 1, it has assigned 1 gig, and this is what it's the current size